Good morning, guys. Let's have a small recap of what we have discussed yesterday. Yesterday, we were deriving an expression for power generation at ith plant when losses are included. We have derived an expression P generation at ith plant is equal to 1 minus Bi by lambda minus sigma j is equal to 1, j is not equal to I up to n. 2 Bij Pgj by Ji by lambda plus 2 Bi. This was the expression which we have derived yesterday, where Ji and Bi are related to incremental cost, where IT at ith plant is equal to Ai into Pgi plus Bi. So Ai and Bi are the constants in incremental cost equation. Okay. Whereas these are transmission loss coefficients. Lambda is some arbitrary constant. So this was the expression which we have derived yesterday for determining the generation at any plant with ELD, which means this is going to be your optimal generation at plant number I. So having learned this, now we'll discuss now what is the iterative procedure which we need to follow in determining this PR. Then you may ask me, sir, there is already a problem, then why should we go with a long iterative procedure? Yes, better. See, if you carefully see, generation at any plant is dependent on generation at other plants. So we need to start with an estimate, initial estimate, and then we need to refine it, just as we have done in the case of load flow studies. Now let's see what is the iterative procedure for optimal load dispatch or economic load dispatch with the losses. Now we will go through the different steps, and finally we will solve a problem on ELD with losses. Coming to the procedure, first of all, let us start with a random value of lambda. We will assume we'll start with initial value of lambda and initial values of generation. So first of all, I'll assume suitable value of lambda. Say lambda is equal to lambda. So how to choose lambda? Choose lambda naught such that lambda naught is greater than So for quick convergence, you better choose lambda naught such that it is greater than the largest BI which is available for all of your plants. Let us suppose you do have 4 plants and you do have the incremental cost of these 4 plants. You check the BI and make sure that your initial value of lambda is greater than the largest BI of all your available plants. So this will give us a quicker convergence. Next. So after knowing lambda, what we are supposed to do, we need to have in the equation if we have observed, AB are constants, B is also a constant, capital B, loss coefficient. So the values which will be changing here, one is lambda, the other one is P, power generation. So we need to start at some value of power generation. So what is the initial value of power generation? Okay. So assume initial values of power generation to be satisfied with ELD without losses. So what is this meaning all about? So you need to have an initial estimate of initial value of power generation. So how we should go with the initial value of power generation. So what you are supposed to do is that, first of all, you exclude the losses we have done in our previous classes. Exclude the transmission losses just to compute just with the equations of and so just with these two equations, you just calculate what are the PG1 and PG2 and PG3. This was the ELD without losses, right? So for the given problem, you perform ELD without losses and you get the values of PG1, PG2 and PG3, all the generations, and let these values be your initial values for your problem. So that is what it is all about. Assume initial values of power generation to be satisfied with ELD without losses. Okay. Or I will rewrite it in a more technical way. For initial estimates, for initial values, calculate PGI, calculate the power generation at all the plants based upon your equal incremental cost. This is nothing but your ELD without loss. So having calculated this, now we have got the initial value. So now if you carefully see now, if you want to calculate PGI, what was our equation? 1 minus Pi by lambda minus sigma j is equal to 1, j is not equal to I, En, 2 Bij, Pgj by Ai by lambda plus 2 Bij. So if you carefully see, AB are already available for us. This is available, this is available. These are already available because these are all constant. Ai, Vi and V coefficients, those are all constant. So what are the terms which you do require now? One is lambda, which we have started initially, and the other one is the generation. So we are computing the initial values of generation based upon your equal incremental cost. So these two are required for starting our problem. So these two are our assumptions, or what we call it as initial estimate. Once we do have these two, we can start our problem. Now let's see. So the above initial values, okay, I'll write it directly. With the above values, compute PGI at all units. or plants, whatever you can name it as. Compute PGI at all units of plants using the equation. We do have the equation which I have written earlier. So what was the equation, guys? PGI is equal to 1 minus BI by lambda minus sigma j is equal to 1, j is not equal to I, n 2 Bij PGJ by AI by lambda plus 2 Bij. So using this equation, you compute the generations at all the buckets. Okay. So every time you get a, let us suppose the initial estimates you have calculated generation at plant number 1. So when you go to the plant number 2, you immediately use this value immediately. Okay. So let us suppose if I do have 2 buckets now. I do have some initial values of PG1 and PG2. Okay. Now with these initial values, let us suppose now I am calculating again PG1. These are initial values. I am representing as 1. So yeah. This is P1 value. I have the values of A, BI, AI, and V coefficients. Now, I am employing this initial value to compute PG1. Now, when PG1 is computed, PG2 is also to be computed, right? So these are the initial values. Okay. So these are the initial values. With the help of these initial values, you substitute P2 here, you will be getting PG1. Now again Pg1 you substitute here, you will be getting again Pg2. Next time again, you go on repeating this sequence. P1 you substitute here, again P2 you substitute here, P1 you substitute here. This process must be repeated in itself. Okay, this is a cyclic process until the difference between the consecutive iterations gets reduced to a smaller value. Okay, this process is to be repeated. Initial values you have submitted here. Again, these values to be substituted here. So this process is to be continued within this loop till your PG1 and PG2 do not change further. This optimization is to be done here. Okay. I will write on here, I'll print on here very clearly for you. Values of PGI are to be optimized. Before going to the next step, if 3 plants are there, P1 into P2 into P3, again P1, P2, P3, P1, P2, P3, until here, further you don't have any changes. Okay. So values of PGI are to be optimized using these equations only here itself. Maybe it is a time-taking process, but you need to optimize them. Okay. Once you have optimized your PGI, I am underlining this one very clearly. So because we need to optimize the thing, and unless you don't optimize here itself, you may not be able to get a quick conversion. Now, after optimizing, this is the third step, is the most important one. After optimizing, so what do you mean by optimizing? I told you now. So make sure that difference in consecutive iterations is less than your tolerance, because we have already taken up our tolerance, isn't it? So generations are to be optimized and make sure that you don't have a larger difference between your consecutive iterations. Okay. Once it is done, Once it is done, once optimization is done, now you compute PL. We do have an equation of PL, which I have stated to you earlier. Sigma I is equal to 1 to n, sigma j is equal to 1 to n, PGI, PIJ, PGJ. This was the equation which we employed for power loss. So with the optimized generation, which you do have, and with the V coefficients which you already have, now compute the power loss. So once the power losses are computed, now we need to check the condition. Constraint or condition. This is important, right? Because we had a constraint at the start of our problem. What was our constraint? Our constraint was sum of all generations must be equal to your PD plus PL. So we will compute the sum of all generations. We will compute what is PD and PL. PD was already given for us. Generations we have determined here. Loss we have determined here. And we will check what is the difference between the generations and this demand and loss. Make sure that the difference is zero. Ideally, the difference must be zero, or at least it is less than here some tolerance value. Isn't it? This is called as delta P. I will name it as delta P. Okay. If delta P is less than tolerance, so I am computing delta P. If delta P is less than tolerance, then print the result. You can directly say that, okay, the so far obtained values of PGI are going to be your economic or optimized generation. If delta P is greater than tolerance, then go back to step 3 with revised value of lambda. So now you need to change the value of lambda, because earlier we have chosen some value of lambda. We have obtained these things, but since it is not being satisfied now, you need to change the value of lambda. Let us suppose if your generations are very, very low. Generations, if they are very, very low, which means that what is your value of delta? If delta P is negative, which means your generations are very, very low. Which means your delta P is negative, which means it is not meeting your demand and loss. Then increase lambda. If delta P is positive, decrease lambda. So with the revised value of lambda, you again go back to your generation, and again you start computing the thing. Got it now? These are the 6 steps which you need to follow for solving this ELD problem if losses are included. I hope you have understood these 6 steps. I'll again repeat for you. You go with the initial value of lambda naught. How to choose lambda naught? The largest BI of all available plants. Next, for initial value, you go with PGI based upon equal incremental cost. Next is compute PGI and optimize it. Compute power loss. And finally compute delta P. If delta P is not met, or if it is not nearly equal to 0, you change the value of lambda, go back to step 3 with revised value of lambda. Okay. Now we will look at a problem where we can go with So we will take up a problem now. Okay. And question. I'll consider a two-plant power system. I'll consider a two-plant power system where IC1 is equal to 1.0 P1 plus 200, 1.01 plus 200, and IC2 is equal to, I'll take it as that. Okay. So this is A1, this is B1, this is A2, and this is P2. So these are the incremental costs. And loss coefficient matrix, it will be normally given in form of a matrix most of the times, and it is given as 0.0001, 0.0024, minus 0.0005, and this is minus 0.0004. Okay. I'll make this step. Okay. So this is your loss coefficient matrix, and they say that you need to determine optimal dispatch demand is equal to 100 megawatts. So this is the problem which has been given for you. So the incremental costs have been given for you, the loss coefficients have been given for you, and the demand is also been given for you. So first of all, what is our choice? So what is the first step? Your first step is choosing of lambda, isn't it? Assume or let lambda is equal to lambda naught, isn't it? Initial value of somewhere. So what I'll be choosing? See the B values here, 200 and 150. I must choose a value which is larger than this BS. So I'll go with 250. Because 250, 150 is there. The larger one is 200. I will go beyond that. 250. Next is let initial generations PG1 and PG2. I need initial values of generation. How to get the initial values of generation? As already I told you, you go with incremental fuel cost, equal incremental fuel cost. So what I'll be doing? I'll be doing a problem here, ELD without loss. What is ELD without losses? Your total generation is equal to your demand and equal incremental cost. What are equal incremental cost? This is P1 plus 200 is equal to P1 plus 150. Sorry. That's it. Solving these two. What I'll be getting? P1 is equal to 25 and P2 is equal to 7. So this is my initial values of the problem. 25 and 75. And 70. Okay. This is one method of doing it. Okay. Now we have got an initial values of, we have chosen lambda value, initial value, and we have started with Pg1 is equal to 25 and Pg2 is going to be 75. Now if you carefully see, these values are not going to meet for me to go with the losses, isn't it? But anyway, I will start my problem. Okay, I'll compute PGI. Or other thing which you can do is nothing but you can directly employ this incremental cost. This one as incremental cost. If you employ directly as incremental cost, see what are your generations here, what the value which you will be getting. You will be get, if you substitute here 250 as an incremental cost, you can directly get here 50. This is another way of solving the problem, which will give you a quicker conversion, which you do in practice. So if you want to directly place it, 250, your generation will be 50. Here if you place it, you will be getting 100. This is one of the easiest way or quickest way for conversion. So we will go with the quicker conversion. I am directly placing the value of 250 here because I have chosen it randomly. I am directly placing the value here and I am getting here 50, P1 as 50. Here if I place 250 here, I will get P2 as 100. So now I am computing PGI, which means I am computing Pg1 and Pg2 from the initial values. So what is Pg1 equation? Pg1 equation is 1 minus V1 by lambda minus 2 B12 P2 by A1 by lambda plus 2 B11. This is the expression, isn't it? So what I will do now, I will substitute these values here to make this equation simplified. So 1 minus what is B1 here? B1 is 200, lambda is 250, minus 2 into B12 is this value, minus 0.0005 into P2. I'll keep this P2 as like that only. By A1 is 1 by 250 plus 2 into B1 is 0.0010. Okay, I'll solve this one now. See here. So what I'll be getting? This is, I'll take LCM as 250. This is 500 into, so become plus. I hope these are the values. Let me check it once again with the calci. 250, 0.00. Yep. So this is 50 plus 0.25 P2 by 1.5. So I will again simplify it by 1.5 is 33.33 plus 0.166 P2. So this is the expression for Pg1. Just I have tried to solve this one and obtain a simple equation for P2 because I need it for optimizing. Next is Pg2. Pg2 will be 1 minus B2 by lambda minus 2 B1 to P1 by, this is A2 by lambda plus 2 B2, isn't it? So now what I'll be getting here? 1 minus B2 is 150 So what I am getting here? If I take LCM as 250, this is going to be 250 minus 150 minus this remains the same plus 1.2. So this is going to be 100 plus 0.25 P1 by 2.2. So this is going to be 45.45 plus 0.11432. So these two are the equations. Sir, why to solve these equations? Sir, if you solve these equations to a simple thing, then we will get or we will easily calculate the optimization. We will easily go through the optimization. Now, I have taken an initial value of lambda, say a bigger value when compared to these two, 250. And I have employed the same as the incremental cost and have obtained P1 and P2 initial values. Now, I have simplified the equations of Pg1 and Pg2. Okay. So, first of all, I have simplified the equations of Pg1 and Pg2 with the expressions which I have solved yesterday. I have not substituted P1 and P2 if you carefully see. I will substitute it now because I need to go with the optimization. So now you will understand why I have not substituted P1 and P2. So what is P1 equation now? 33.33 plus 0.166 P2. This is equation Pg1. And what is Pg2? P2? It is 45.45 plus 0.114 P2. Isn't it? So this is my equation. This is my two expressions for step number 3. Okay. Now, with these values, what I'll be doing? First of all, Pg1 is equal to this one, P2 is equal to this one. So now I will start substituting the values. Okay. First of all, what was the value here? For Pg2, what was the value of Pg2? 100, isn't it? So first of all, I'll substitute here 100. Okay, this is Pg1. This is Pg2. I'll write down two columns here. First of all, I will substitute 100 here, Pg2. So if I substitute initial values 50, 100. And these were the initial values. Now if I substitute 100 in this equation, so what is going to be my value? It is going to be again, I think 50, isn't it? Yeah, 50. Yeah. It is going to be again 50%. Now if I substitute 50 here, if I'm going to substitute 50 here. Now whatever Pg2 I do have here, I'll substitute here to get Pg1. Again, the value of Pg1 is to be substituted here. Okay. So 50, if I sorry, this is P1, right? If I substitute 50 here, what is my value? Let us check. So it is going to be 51.24. It is going to be 51.2. Now, again this P2 is to be substituted here. So this process is to be repeated again and again. P2 again to be substituted here. Now we will see 0.166 into 51.24 plus 50. Okay, minus 50 plus 33.2. So its value is 41.8. Substituting again for this equation, I will be getting 41.8. Again, 41.8 is to be substituted here. So its value is 50.2. Again, this value is to be substituted again in P1. So its value is 41.6. Its value is 41.6. Now again, 41.66 is to be substituted in P2 now. Value is going to be 50.1. So if you carefully see now, the values are converging now. Again 50.19 is to be substituted again here. 50.19, 2.166 plus 33.6. So its value is going to be again 41.66 on 1. 2.114. This is 50.1918. See, the values are converging. So with the initial values, I have applied PG2 here. Again, PG1 is done here. Again, PG2. Again, PG1. So I am employing only these two equations to solve it. So now, if you carefully check, the values have converged now. So what are the final values now? PG1 is 41 and PG2 is somewhere around 50.1. So now I'll finalize these two as mine. So compute PG1 and PG2. So PG1 is equal to 41.16 megawatt and PG2 is equal to 50.18 megawatts. So third step is completed. Now fourth step. What is fourth step, beta? Fourth step is compute PL. I do have two plants here. So what is PL equation? P11 P1 square plus 2B12 P2 P1 P2 plus B22 P2 square. This is the equation for power loss. Isn't it? Now, I do have B coefficients at the top, isn't it? So what are the B coefficients for me? It is 0.001. P1 is 41.16 square plus this is 2 into minus 0.0005. This is 41.16 into 50.18 plus B22 is let's calculate these values. Okay, so 0.001 into 41.16. This is 1.694. So it's 2.065, and the last one is 6.043. Yeah. So this is 5.672 megawatts. Now, step 5, which is delta P. Which is sigma generation minus demand minus loss. So what is sigma generation? Sum of these two generations. 41 plus 50, it is going to be 41.16 plus 50.18 minus demand is 100 plus 5 point. So what is this value now? Now we will see. It is minus 14.37 megawatts. So this is a huge number, isn't it? Since my delta P is negative, yeah, what I'll be thinking that my delta P is somewhere around very closer to zero. This is not closer to zero. This is a very big value when compared to the demand of 100 megawatts. So I will try to revise the value of delta. Since I'll write down here, since delta P is negative, increase value of lambda. Increase the value of lambda. So now what I'll be doing, lambda was already what I have taken is 250. Since I have taken it as 250, now what I'll be doing, I'll be changing my value of lambda. 250, I'll increase it now. I'll take it to, let lambda is equal to 260. Or if you want, you can go with 300 or 350, it will be your choice. So it will be your choice. Now I'm gonna back to 260 now. Now let's see if I can make it again with the 260. So again, we have to start the problem of 260. Again, come back to the step. Again, come back to the step. Again, everything is gone. Again, fresh. Don't feel that it is a very large problem. Once you get used to it, once you practice it, it will be very, very simple. So now it is 260, isn't it? If I substitute 260 here as the incremental cost, so what will be my generation 1? 260 minus 200 by 1.1. That is going to be 60. Here, if I substitute it, I will be getting 1. Isn't it? First two steps are very simple. Now, I have to minimize it, optimize it. So again, I will be going with this equation. This is 200 by 260 minus 2 into minus 0.0005. 32, I'll keep it like that itself. By A1 is 1. So I will first try to minimize this problem. So I'll take an LCM of this one. 260 will be the LCM. So 260 minus 200 minus 520 into 0.0005 into 1 plus 520 into 0.00. So this is going to be 60 plus 0.2632 by, this is going to be 1.5. So this is my expression for PG. So I will write on here PG1 is 39.47 plus 0.171 pixels. And similarly, I'll calculate PG2. What I'll be getting here, 1 minus 150 by 260 minus 2 into minus 0.0005 P1 by, this is going to be 1 by 260 plus 2 into 0.002. So this is going to be 100 plus 0.26P2 P1 and that is 2.248. So what I'll be getting now? 100 divided by 54.48 plus 0.115 P1. So now I'll employ these two equations. I'll write it down. P1 is 39.47 plus 0.171 P2 and Pg2 is 44.48 plus 0.115 P1. So these are my simplified equations now. I'll try to optimize them with the initial values which I do have. So initial values for Pg1 and Pg2. What were the initial values? 60 and 110. 60 and 110. Now, what is next to Pg1? Pg1 is, to substitute 110 here. So what is the value of Pg1? 171 into 110 plus, yeah. So now it is value 58.28. Now the same value of 58.28 is to be employed here for P2. So its value is going to be 51.18. So a drastic decrease now. So again, this is to be implemented for P1. So again, I will be getting this time my value is 48.28. 48.22. It is 50.0. Again, this is 48.02 and it is 50.02 again. So which means that if I do one more value, this will become saturated. So this is my Pg1 and this is my Pg2. So what is Pg1? 48.02 and this is 50.0. So now, if these are optimized values of my Pg1 and Pg2, now what I'll be doing? I'll be calculating PL. What is PL formula? B11 P1 square plus 2 B12 P2 P1 P2 plus B22 P2. Substituting the values here again. So you will be getting some value of, say, let us suppose 5.1. This is not my calculated value. So I am just assuming that this is going to be my value of P. So once I do it, delta P. What is delta P? Sum of generation minus PD plus P. So now, what is my sum of generations now? My sum of generations is 48 plus 50 is 98.02 minus, this is 100, this is, so it is somewhere around minus 7.18 megawatts. See, earlier I had got 15 megawatt, minus 15, now it is minus 7.18, which means it is going to converge. But since it is again not closer to 0, since delta P is negative, increase delta. So earlier my delta value was 260. Now I am going to converge it. So I will choose my delta to some 265 because I am getting closer, right? So I will go with 265. Again, my story again starts. So here again I will go with 265. If I take it as 265, so what will be my initial generation? My initial generations will be 65 minus, okay, this is 65 and this is 11. Again my story starts till I convert my problem. Finally, when I get delta P value very close to 0, then I will stop the problem and I will declare the result. Okay. Through computer simulation, this particular problem was converging somewhere at lambda is equal to 263.47. Okay. Hope you have understood the problem.